watching. Bring the girl. Hello everyone.
Good evening,
Good evening,
ma'am.
madam.
Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening, ma'am.
Good evening,
How are
ma'am.
you all?
We are doing great, ma'am.
और कल का फन एक्टिविटीज कैसा था? Did you enjoy it there?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes,
enjoyed
ma'am.
it a lot, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
cool. Have you make any friends? New friends from new?
Honestly, we did not.
Come on, this is the time. Just interact and call your friends. There are only 37 participants. We had around 70 to 75 yesterday. And how was the experience? Someone share.
Great, ma'am. It was very
I'm very great.
great. We got to learn a lot.
Hey, it would be good if you on your camera. Hello, Dax. Hello, Rohit.
Hello,
Hi, ma'am. How
ma'am.
are you?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello, Divya.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes. Hello,
How are you?
Ivan.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Good, good. Ah, yes.
Ma'am, my camera is
Monica.
not working.
Uh, who's there?
Ma'am, Aditya
Aditya.
Goyal.
Oh, all right. Just check the settings once. What did you learn from session yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, scamper technique.
Yeah,
Yes,
we learnt
ma'am.
about the scamper technique.
क्या होता है स्कैम फिर बताएगा पूरा. Ah, that's speak something. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
That's Vivan, Rohit, Arpit. Come on,
Um,
say something.
ma'am, I was disconnected. What did you ask?
Just ask that. Explain me about scamper technique that you learned yesterday.
Scamper technique is used to innovate products. Yeah, the scamper technique stands for substitute, combine, adapt, uh, manipulate. No,
Going on a good track. Just try it, right?
May I?
Sure, sure, for sure. Arpit,
Uh,
go with it.
Ma'am, scamper stands for substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to other use, eliminate, and the reserve. And it is a technique
Right.
with the help of which we can innovate the product.
So, what are your expectations from today's session?
we'll be learning
What am I
about
like?
marketing and pitching.
All right.
Yeah, how to sell the product on various.
So कुछ
Investing
थोड़ा बहुत
techniques
आइडिया
as
है
well.
कुछ थोड़ा बहुत idea what stands for pitch, what stands for marketing,
Pitching is basically
Ma'am, it
selling
is
your product.
right?
Describing your product.
Marketing is to just
When we wanna introduce our product to
Right.
the
Go
investors,
one by one. Go one by one. Just raise your hand first. I'll just have your name and then you speak. All right.
Explaining your idea to others
By the
because
way,
they should
we'll
invest in
start.
us. That's called pitching, ma'am.
We'll start. All right. We'll start our session by 6:15. So till that time, we can have a chill session. We can interact. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Yes. Start with Manika.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, marketing is just, in a simple word, to make your product so attractive that people will stick to your product and they will be forced to buy it by themselves only. And pitching is to just convey all investors or anyone just and to show that what is unique in your product along with the USP and other things.
you muted, mom.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just said we can go with Arpit now.
Uh, and ma'am, marketing is just describing your product and letting the people to know the good qualities about your product and what is this and what are its benefit. And pitching is just to explain your product and your business to anybody.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Marketing is just telling about your product to the customer, and pitching when we are pitching in the front of investor so that they invest in our company. We explain the business, our business model, and what are its benefits to them.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yes. Akshay.
Yes, ma'am. Marketing is an important role in our business. Like after innovation of the product and customization, it plays an important role, like to sell the product and to make our company more profitable and to reach our goal. Like the innovation that we made, it is the role where we play. It is very important to reach the customer.
All right. Great. 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 You know very much about it. That's good to know. Right. We can go with Gotri.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
have done?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Continue. You're not audible. Gotri, you're not audible.
Ma'am, now can you hear me?
हाँ हाँ हाँ
Yes, ma'am. So basically, first, marketing is just advertising for people who want to buy your product, and pitching is for the investors so that they get the idea about your product so that they can invest in yours and your product can enter the market.
All right, cool, cool. Great. Who's next? Anyone? Yeah, come on your camera so that we can interact well. Hey guys. हेलो अक्षय सब इतने सीरियस मोड में क्यों हो यहाँ पे टीचर आके डांट नहीं लगाने वाली है स्माइल ऑन योर फेस you can even call your other friends here your respective groups to join and we can start as early as we can
मैम आपकी आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही है.
Ma'am, your voice is cracking.
just a second now it's audible
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yeah, now it's
Yes,
audible,
ma'am.
ma'am.
all right just call up your friends in the respective groups so that we can start this meet as soon as we can. And one of the purpose of Neo is to make friends from different cities, different schools. So this interactive in group itself.
Mom, is anyone speaking?
No. For now, no one is speaking. We'll start soon. Hello everyone. So
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
we'll
Good
hello.
evening, ma'am.
So we
Hello, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So we'll start with our meeting. All right. So good evening, everyone. A hearty welcome to Mrs. Oshi Kumari, ma'am. She is here. She's speaker for our today's session. And my dear students, myself Kushi from VNIT Nagpur, ECEL VNIT Nagpur, and we are here to have a power packed session on marketing, pitching, and basics of entrepreneurship. So hope you all are well and had a enjoyable session yesterday. This session, we are having Oshi Kumari ma'am, who is co-founder and COO of Inside FPY. Sorry, I'm so sorry. FPV Ventures Private Limited. So there's a short intro about ma'am. She at the age of 17 started the company along with her co-founders during COVID. And since its inspection, Inside FPV has become one of the leading drone company in India. So hope this session would be enjoyable to each and every one of you. So just over to you, ma'am.
Hi, Kushi. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. How are you
Hi,
all?
ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello,
Good
ma'am.
to
Good
How are
evening,
you?
ma'am.
Fine.
We are
I'm
fine.
Hello,
I'm
ma'am.
fine.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, we are fine.
That's good to hear. So much enthusiasm among all of you. So, I'm Oshi from Inside FPV, a drone-based company which you must have seen in Shark Tank India season 2. अगर नहीं देखा है तो go and watch Inside FPV in episode number 30, where we received funding from 4 out of 5 sharks. And also, congratulations to all of you for giving and clearing the National Entrepreneurship Olympiad. Okay, so let's start with our discussion. Let me just share my screen.
It's requested to each and every one of you to just mute your mic. We'll have a doubt session after this PPT. All right? Thank you.
Yeah. So, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, our topic of discussion is introduction to entrepreneurship. Can anyone tell me the definition of an entrepreneur in two simple words?
An
Ma'am,
entrepreneur
first
is
is problem. He is a problem solver, and a problem and a solution finder also.
Good, very good.
ma'am, a person who identifies the problems and then work out and searches and for better way,
Ma'am,
better
Yes,
an
usage.
entrepreneur is a discoverer and an inventor.
very
Ma'am,
good.
in a nutshell,
Ma'am,
we can
ma'am,
also
entrepreneurship is
that
all about understanding anyone's problem and solving it with the easiest way by you.
Okay,
in a
great.
nutshell, we can say that an entrepreneur is a brainstormer
Hello,
who
ma'am.
just spots out the problem and finds a solution.
Yes,
Ma'am.
correct.
Ma'am, in three
So,
words.
so keeping it in
Entrepreneur is
two
a
words,
observer and take a risk.
Excuse me, guys.
yeah,
Just raise your
everyone
just
is correct over here.
If we want to keep it in two words, it's
Ma'am, risk taker.
innovator.
Okay,
guys just raise your hand. We'll
so
call your
Problem
name
solving
and
is the
then just
correct word for to it.
go with your doubts. Just raise your hand.
yeah, I think
Ma'am, you
Kushi,
can
a
continue.
moderator is required in this because the kids The students are very much enthusiastic about the
All
topic.
right, all right. Ma'am, you just continue and guys, please coordinate. We'll have a doubt session after this PPT. All right? Let her continue first.
Right. So, as mentioned by you all, entrepreneur simply means a problem solver, a person who solves a problem for mass, not for one or two people, but for a lot of people. It's called an entrepreneur. And when you build a platform to provide that solution, that is called a startup. So, it is as simple as that. Now, there are so many companies across the globe, right? Where let's particularly talk about Indian companies who solve one or more problem for us. Now, you must have all heard about ChatGPT. Am I right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So, what is ChatGPT? What does it do? So, ChatGPT is an AI that solves almost all our questions, right? Am I correct? So ChatGPT also does most of our homeworks too, right? How many of you made ChatGPT do your homework? So that's what ChatGPT does. Now, when you go to Swiggy and Zomato, they provide food and groceries at our doorstep. Domino's has started delivery of pizzas till midnight for us hungry youths. Inside FPV, my company provides drones to people like us to capture our memories in a different perspective. That is through drones. Boat, you must all have heard about Boat that provides affordable electronic wearables. Most of you must be wearing Boat headphones and earphones, right? Lenskart has used tech where we can scan our face and try a wide range of eyewear to see which one suits us. Very less people among us watch news, right? How many of you all watch news on television?
Ma'am, I don't watch news, but I read newspaper on daily basis.
Okay, so you read newspapers,
Yeah,
but like many of us don't have a habit of watching news and going through the newspaper, right? But
yeah,
it
yeah,
is important for us to be updated with what's going on around in the world, right?
yeah.
For that, we have a one-stop solution that is in shorts, where you get to know about news in an easy way. Now, Nykaa, a one-stop solution to get cosmetics from different brands. Have you all heard about Shiprocket?
No.
Do you know what is
Yes, ma'am.
Shiprocket?
Ship
Yes,
rocket.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Blue dart.
Okay,
Blue dart.
so that is great. So Shiprocket gets your parcel picked up and delivered at your doorstep. Do you know Zepto?
Hey.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
Right. So Zepto delivers grocery in 10 minutes. Right. Now we have
Okay.
Oyo, where you can book hotels online. Byju's, an online educational platform. Mamaearth, which sells organic products. And how many of you have an idea of Pine Labs? What is Pine Labs? Can anyone? Yeah?
Ma'am, time lapse is just a thing in a small period, a long time in a small time. It
Pine Labs is the name of a company. Can you tell me what does Pine Lab provides us? What solution does Pine Lab provide us? Because you
I guess
can
Ma'am, it
it's for
provides
definitely
retail
fintech.
share.
transaction software.
Sorry? Yes, Paru?
It provides retail transaction software.
Correct. So Pine Labs is almost used in all shops and supermarkets where you swipe your credit card or debit cards and do the transaction. So these are the brands which are involved and they solve problems of us customers in a unique way. Maybe before these brands came, we didn't even know that we needed them, right? People running these businesses are called entrepreneurs. Now, there must be a question in your mind, right? What is the difference between an entrepreneur and others? Now, as I said, that these brands have solved problems of us customers in a unique way. And maybe before these brands came, we didn't even know that we needed them, right? So that is the difference, seeing things what others can't. Now, you have to visualize and dig deep into the subconscious mind of a person to know what they need. Okay. Now, because if you go and normally ask someone, like, give me an issue what you're facing and I'll solve it. how many of you can like give an issue at that moment itself that this is the problem which I am solving, and many of my friends are like facing this problem. So can you solve it?
Now our response time would be very late, ma'am. We won't be able to recognize which problem are we facing at that every moment.
Okay, yes. And anyone else?
If we face it
Ma'am,
Can you
regularly,
give a
currently,
problem at that moment itself? Like if I ask you, tell me what problem is hundred and thousands of people facing?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
it may not be possible because
ma'am,
Ma'am,
different
uh,
persons may
I
suffer
have a
we have to
question.
think
problem.
about it. What is the problem?
Right,
and
right.
many people use
Then the biggest
headphones.
problem is education system.
Holding mobile phone while we are on the bed or while sleeping, ma'am. Many people have the trick to see mobile and then sleep, but they can't just handle the mobile. The hand pain, so that might be a problem that all of us, because everyone has a mobile, therefore all of us face this problem.
Right. Now, it took time for us to think about such a problem, right? And you have to even see that is this problem faced by millions of people in the world? Or let's leave about the world in India itself, because there is no use of solving or making a startup which only caters to like hundreds or five hundreds or thousands of people, right? Because that isn't creating a value in the world, right? So that doesn't really work out because like even we don't know what we really want, but when a company comes up with a solution, we will be like, yes, this is saving my time and effort. Now, how many of us go to a restaurant, like, yes, we go to a restaurant with our families, right? But how many of us prefer to like just order online and sit at your home, put on some great movie or Netflix on your television and watch it with your family, right?
Nine.
How many of us go to the grocery shop and like buy things? How many of us go to like malls and buy clothes? We all order it through Flipkart, Amazon, Meesho, and there's so many other apps, right? So with before these apps coming, before these brands coming, did we like even thought that all these things will be delivered at our doorstep? No, right? Like if I go some 5 to 6 years back, did you ever think that food from from your favorite restaurant will be delivered at your doorstep? That too hot, good food. No, right. So that is the difference between you as an entrepreneur, like to step up and identify and solve that problem. Now, as I said, like few years back, we never knew that food will be delivered at our doorstep. So that is the difference, right? Now, to create a difference, right? It needs consistent effort. Now, how many of you study every day for like whatever is taught in your class? How many of you study every day? And how many of you study like 1 day or 2 days before your exams? Tell me.
Honestly,
I
Now,
ma'am, I
study
am the
that
one
every
of the
day.
one.
And
I do study every day.
6 days before,
Ma'am, I used to
Daily,
study
complete the
obviously.
daily.
syllabus 6 days
Almost
before,
daily.
and then
Daily.
so we
then
have
rest for
really
the
good
time being.
students because I, as a student, used
Before
to only
exams,
study like 1 day before my exam.
Yeah, I was the one
one
of
or
them,
two
ma'am.
days
I
before
also
exam.
am.
I was the one of them.
Yes. Now, if you compare between a student studying 1 day before and a student studying daily consistently, we will forget what we learned like the next day itself after we write our exam, right? But the
Yeah.
person who is studying every day still remembers things. Now, I have my younger brother. He studies every day and he knows more than me when I was at his age, right? So there that difference come. Maybe you studying 1 day before will get more marks than a person studying every day. That is possible. But if you see the knowledge which a person has, the difference comes over there. Because at the end, marks do not matter. What matters is knowledge, right? When you start a startup, or if you want to have like go for a job, they check your knowledge and not marks. They check your skills and not marks, right? So the person studying every day, like mostly, will be having more knowledge than the person like me, who studies one day before and who forgets things, right? So that is the difference. Like we have to create in the world by giving consistent effort, because consistent effort is needed, which comes with like working efficiently and consistently every day. Now, do a little bit only, but try to never give up. Because as you can see, doing something is better than doing nothing, right?
Yeah,
So,
ma'am.
जो होता है ना, बूंद बूंद से घड़ा बढ़ता है. It's the same thing. Small efforts every day will give you big results at the end of the like week or month or year, whatever it is. Right. Now, coming to the next slide. Now, like that's how I built Inside FPV. We started in July 2020 and now coming to Shark Tank and getting four sharks on board. Like I and my team never gave up, no matter how difficult the situation was. We tried every day, and now we are known to all, becoming one of the top Indian drone companies. Right. Now, if I have just included a picture of my team. Like this was my team in 2020, and this is my team which is now. We were like a team of five, six people in 2020, and now we are a team of 55 people. So that is the difference. Because even team building and making a team is very difficult, and it is done by consistent efforts. It is not a work of one day that you just like hire a person on internshala and you recruit that person and make that person work. No, it's not done like that. Because even you want to work in a good organization where facilities are provided, where the organization has an aim, where that organization is giving something to you, not only money, but also self-building, right? So anyone would like to work in such an organization, right? So how to make that with consistency, right?
This was so good to see your journey and those smiling faces show your hard work, that happiness. That's good to see.
Yeah, thank you. And well, that photo which you see of team of 55 people, that was the day when we did the screening of Shark Tank.
Oh, right. Carry on, carry on.
Yeah. So now, like, let me tell you all that entrepreneurship is not for all. Okay? So don't go with the flow. This is the harsh reality, and I want to be 100% honest to you. Like, we have waves coming in India. First was the medical wave, then came the engineering, and now it's something entrepreneurship ka wave abhi chal raha hai. So entrepreneurship is not for all. Like, if you're not willing to sacrifice your everything in building your company, don't choose this path. This is not meant for you. Like we entrepreneurs have sleepless nights. Okay. Not because of the tension or workload what we are having. No. But because we want to be and have to be the best in our industry. So to be the best, you have to like sacrifice everything initially. From your friends to musty to parties to going out, chilling, everything you have to sacrifice in the initial stage of building your startup. Because being an entrepreneur means you are a multitasker. You have to handle business, you have to handle sales, employees, customers, logistics, everything. That's not an easy task, because when you start a company, you are the only one building that, or you might be having one or two of your co-founders, a team of people, two or three people team who is building that company, right? But initially, like, tell me one thing. If you tell your friends that I'm building this XYZ company, will you join my company without having a proper aim, a proper solution which you're providing, a proper problem which you're solving? Will your friend join your company?
No, ma'am.
No, right?
No.
No,
Even
ma'am.
No,
your
ma'am.
best friend won't join that company, right? Why? Because
Yeah, ma'am.
there's no foundation which you have built for your company. So to build that foundation, to build that base in your company, you have to sacrifice. And that comes like being an entrepreneur comes at a cost. It's not like what is shown in movies and TV serials ki like I was very poor or I was rags and after one day I become rich. My company just like became a multi-billion dollar company or my company became an unicorn. That doesn't happen in real life. It takes days of efforts and hard work to build that company. So जो दिखता है ना कि in one day that company became an unicorn, that doesn't happen. Don't see the success stories ever. Just see just see what is going on behind the company. Just see the efforts which each and every person, not only the founders, but also the people who are working in the company are putting the efforts. So that takes time, right? And that is not an easy task. And no one is perfect, right? Even not entrepreneurs. So you have to learn these skills. For that, you have to invest time and effort in your business, which makes you give less time to friends. And I'm not scaring you, frankly speaking, okay? I just don't want to lie to you by saying that entrepreneurship is easy and anyone can do. Yes, yes, anyone can do who is passionate about it, who is passionate about solving a problem in a unique way. So that person can do. Okay? Now, Now, if you have decided to become an entrepreneur, let's see like what are some essential ingredients required to become a successful one. So, number one is self-confidence. If you lack that, I'm sorry, my friend, like no one can help you out. Not even the best of best mentors which you have. Now, self-confidence and risk takers go hand in hand. I'll also give you some examples, right? Later on. So you must all know, if not, like I'll tell you that 9 out of 10 startups fail. So if you don't have the courage and confidence to accept failure, entrepreneurship is not your cup of tea then. Because not every startup which you start will succeed. And I won't call that startup as a failure because that experience which you gain is priceless. No one can give you, not even your mentors. Okay, if you have like Ashneer Grover or Aman Gupta as your friend, still you cannot learn from their experiences what you will learn from yours. So I won't call that as a failure, but yes, to most of the people, that seems like a failure. Okay, so 9 out of 10 startups don't become an unicorn or don't become a successful brand. So if you have that courage to face that, then you are perfect for to become an entrepreneur. Now, if you have confidence and you are a risk taker, then you must have the passion and drive to solve and execute the solution you have built. Because in this world, we have a lot of idea generators. Even AI now is there. Our teachers who give us ideas for school projects, but like tell me, how many of these teachers have actually executed that idea? Right. Very less or very less, right? So execution is as important, or I will say more important than ideation. It defines our whole company. Like you have to think differently in order to execute those ideas to stand out and different from your competitors. Because there will be many competitors. Even if you're solving a problem uniquely, you'll have definitely have a competitor. Because nowadays investors they won't believe you in you if you don't have a competitor. That's the scenario which is there in this world. ठीक है. So competitors are there directly or indirectly. Now you have to stand out of them. And how can you do that? By having creative thinking on how to execute your idea. So that is also very important. Because ideation कोई भी कर सकता है यार. Anyone can do ideation. But execution, no one can do. Very less people can do. Now you tell me, in a day when you like go out and roam, how many ideas do you get? You must be getting many ideas when you watch YouTube videos, right? When you see Instagram, your Facebook, right? But how many of you actually like execute them, implement them? How many of you see so many science के videos on YouTube? कि acid डाला, base डाला तो ये हो गया, ये reaction हो गया. How many of you have executed it?
Ma'am, may
Less,
I?
right?
I can execute it.
So you're
Yes.
perfect for entrepreneurship. If you see something, if you ideate something, and if you execute it, you're perfect for entrepreneurship. Okay. And like, and to achieve your company's goal, you must have a vision. And your company, like, where do you see your company or your startup in the next 5 years? Right. So that gives a drive to you and your employees to work consistently to achieve your goal. Because if you don't have an aim, agar, like if you are preparing for an exam and if you aim ki I want to score 90 plus out of 100, you have an aim, so you'll work accordingly. But if you say, Arey, jitna bhi aa jayega, whatever marks I get, it's fine for me. Will you study properly? No, right? So
No,
that
ma'am.
is the difference over here. So when you have a aim, even in your life, it gives you motivation and it gives you a goal ki what you have to do and how do you have to do it. It gives you a runway. Otherwise, what it will be ki, okay, there's 365 days in a year. I'll do it whenever I want. Now that one day work can be done in will be done in 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. Because you don't have a timeline, you don't have a goal, you don't have an aim. So having an aim is very important, and which can be done with like good leadership qualities, right? Which is very important skill that people should generally have, and how to manage things and people under you, else it will be a mess, right? Like even the clothes in your cupboard depicts the kind of organizational skill you have. And I'll tell you this, that's a very general question asked in an interview if you apply for a management position, that describe your cupboard state. How is it right now? Sounds funny, right? But it's true. Now, can anyone tell me how is your cupboard state right now? Is it a mess or all your clothes are folded properly and kept in the cupboard?
A
It
little
is
mess.
Ma'am,
managed
they are kept
properly.
very
Mess.
well mannered.
Properly
It's
kept.
really
Not folded
organized.
properly.
Ma'am, it is managed.
Strictly organized.
Ma'am, actually, it's
Messed up.
managed
Managed proper.
because we are now in home, and the real estate would be observed if we are living individually in hostels, or
Yeah.
then we would
Ma'am,
be just
But
real.
still, you are
individually
grown
in a
up kids,
hostel.
right?
Yes,
Yes, Vivan, you are
living
living in a
individually.
hostel.
Yes, and I have managed properly everything.
That's very good. That's very good. Because I'll tell you a real life example, right? If you don't have the habit of keeping things clean or keeping like your clothes properly in your cupboard, the same mess will be reflected in your office, right? People won't throw things in the dustbin. Or like startups like me, like inside FPV, who is a drone-based company, who is a tech-based startup, right? Who is dependent more on hardware and less on software, who works like people who works more on hardware, right? You have to keep things organized. Otherwise, components worth lakhs will be just gone because why? Why? Because you didn't keep it properly, you didn't store it properly. So there your organizational skills reflect in real life. I are you able to relate with me?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, how many of you have heard about Nokia?
Ma'am, it is a
Yes,
mobile company.
Mobile company.
You all have heard, I
Based
think.
in Japan.
it's a mobile company.
Right. So I think all of you have heard about it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Was the strongest phone, I'll say. Because do
Yeah.
you see
World.
Nokia
Nokia
phones now?
3310.
Do you see Nokia phones now in the market selling?
Very,
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
few.
No, ma'am.
No.
No, right. Why?
We miss the ringtone.
Ma'am, it's because
Ma'am,
the technology didn't change with the time.
Correct. Very good.
Nokia could not adapt to the change of the behavior of their consumers.
Very good. Yes.
Due to the change in generation, the phone demand is less.
Ma'am, because they had not adopted the new technology and began to work on the old technology.
Correct.
Yes,
Very good.
ma'am. There was also a story about the CEO of Nokia and the CEO of Microsoft. Um, we can see the Microsoft phones of Nokia also, but they are not that good.
Yes. So, like,
Also,
why
Microsoft
did
has
big
used
startups,
Nokia.
right? So why did big startups who were once famous, very famous in their time failed? Right? Nokia was the king of the mobile industry.
Ma'am,
What happened?
ma'am, they
Why did
failed
it
because
fail?
ma'am
They didn't
because
pace up with the
They
there is no
didn't
technology.
update
because
the
Right.
time was
technology.
So
something
it
new.
didn't adapt to the market change. है ना? Like when the market was moving towards smartphones, Nokia chose to stay on the button phones, and then rest is history. Nokia couldn't survive. So flexibility and adaptability is also very important in order to survive and be the king of your market. Pivoting like changing according to what market needs is very important. Otherwise, however good your product is, however good your startup is, it is bound to fail because that is not the need of the customer right now. Why are you giving it? Now, if you don't if you don't like butterscotch ice cream and you are given and like you are given a butterscotch ice cream, will you take it? No, right? You'll reject it. So that's what. People didn't like the button phones any longer. So they rejected that product and hence the company just it's doomed. Right. So like there are so many companies who have pivoted and now are very well known in their market. Take Swiggy for example. It started by an online food delivery app and now delivers grocery and medicines also. You can even use Swiggy to deliver your parcel from one city to another city. If your friend has a birthday and if you want to give him a card, you can use Swiggy to like deliver your card to your friend. Zomato, which was once an online restaurant searching app. So you could like search restaurants online, like which is the nearest restaurant. And now what is Zomato doing? Delivering food at our doorstep, right? Byju's, which was once an online coaching for entrance exams like NEET and JEE, is now giving educational content, is providing education, online plus offline education to us, right? I think Byju's is like
Akash
providing
plus
education from class third or first.
Plus
First, from
Byju's.
Three, I
first.
Yes,
guess.
Akash plus Byju's. Yes. Why did Byju's acquire Akash? Why did it acquire?
Ma'am, Akash was
For
famous for
offline.
its
Offline coaching also.
medical fields,
Online marketing.
education, and whereas Byju's was just for 1 to 10th kids, and for higher studies from 11 to like JEE and like
Advanced. JEE
advanced
means
exams.
advanced. and meet.
Akash
So
was
they
famous,
acquired
so
Akash.
he
Right.
bought Akash shares for his profit.
Correct, correct. So what did they do? They
Can I say
pivoted,
something?
right? They went with what market required, right? Now Flipkart. Did you all know that Flipkart was once an online bookstore? No,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, just like
No,
Yes?
ma'am.
Amazon.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So now what it is selling? Grocery, electronics, like everything. Flipkart is basically selling
Everything.
everything.
And ma'am,
On
Walmart
Ola,
purchased Flipkart.
right. Now Ola was what? An online car rental platform earlier. And now
And
what
now
is
now
Ola
it is
doing?
selling the bike,
Um,
electric bike.
Yes, it
It's
is
Autos.
like they
also
analyzed
selling
that
electric
them
vehicles.
sticking to the same thing
Electric
wouldn't
vehicles.
work, so they moved on instead.
Right. So now they are also like working on electric vehicles and they are providing us services, right?
Ma'am,
Ola
Ola
कर
is
लो,
They actually
एयरपोर्ट पे
analyzed if
घर पहुंच
their
जा.
starting startups were they good or not. If it wasn't enough, then they actually pivoted and they formed new models, new ideas, and they went with that.
Yes,
They
yes,
grew their market
correct.
schemes.
Ma'am, Ola is soon also launching his electric four-wheelers like mini cars and
Yes,
SUVs.
yes. Now, did you all know Instagram was once a location-based social network where like
Yes,
users
ma'am.
used to check in at various locations. They used to like tell कि I am at this location and used to network with people and gain points. But now you all know what is Instagram for,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Red Bus was once an only online bus ticket. You can buy only on an online bus ticket. But now Red Bus is having its own buses for transportation and is also providing accommodation facilities, right? So pivoting is very much necessary, and going with the market flow is very much necessary. Otherwise, startups who became such giant companies will fail like Nokia if they don't pivot, right? So I repeat again, if you're a person who doesn't like change and who wishes not to take risk, entrepreneurship is not for you, right? Now, if you have finally decided that entrepreneurship is exactly for you, how to become an entrepreneur? That is a very big question, right? So, first and very most important step is to identify the problem first, right? And then create the solution because you should know what your customer need and want before giving that product to them. Now, as I gave the example of ice cream, now if you're allergic to ice cream and someone gives it to you forcefully, will you accept it? No, right? Because you're allergic to it and you don't like it. So it is the similar thing like with your product. If your customer doesn't want it or doesn't like it, it won't work and your company will shut down. So always know the problem you're solving and for whom you're solving it. Right. Next is taking action. As I said earlier also, there are lot of idea generators, but less executors. So take action, execute your ideas, and build a business. And last, always improve and innovate. As I told the Nokia incident, right? If you don't change with the market, your business will eventually fail. So innovation is very much important. If you have even make the best product in the market, the, the needs of the customers will be changing with time. So you have to innovate accordingly. Otherwise, another company or a big giant will launch a similar product with more features. And what will happen? Customers will be attracted to that company than yours. And you'll lose customers. Your startup will fail. Right. So these things are very much important, and it is very important to keep these things in mind when you're starting a business or you want to become an entrepreneur. Okay? And again, like this is the most important important thing to become an entrepreneur, which I've emphasized very much. Ideation is very easy. Implementation is very difficult. So always remember that. Okay? So I hope like the topics discussed is clear to you, and now you have a brief idea about how your entrepreneurship journey will be like and how to become an entrepreneur.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I'm,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Thank
happy
you.
to answer any of the questions you
Yes,
have.
ma'am.
Thank you for the
Uh-huh.
information, ma'am.
I have a query,
Just a
ma'am.
second.
Yes.
Just a
Yes,
second, guys.
Ishika.
Just a second.
Actually,
We'll
ma'am,
continue.
currently I am the vice captain of the school, and
Okay.
I love to run the programs such as related to social activities. I'm the head of a group known as Humanity. I love
Okay.
helping people. Recently, I had an idea of helping the people who work at labor sites, and
Hmm.
we distributed them some blankets from the school by funding those things. So, my question is, if I want to carry something on a larger scale in
Hmm.
entrepreneurship and you want to execute it, but you don't have the sufficient resources, like,
Hmm.
suppose if the director of the school didn't allow me to carry on that activity, then I wouldn't be able to help those 60 or 70 families. So,
Right.
could you please tell what should an entrepreneur do if he or she wanna execute that thing, but you don't have sufficient resources to fulfill that?
Okay. So my first question to you, what do you mean by resources? Because resources is different for different people. So do you mean resources in the terms of permission or in the terms of money? What do you mean by resources?
In this aspect, since I'm not specifying the activity, I mean it everything. Even if it is the permission, it is the money that you are not able to collect the funds, or something else, or the condition of your place or the group isn't, in the condition of working at that time, but you want to execute it.
Oh, okay. So first of all, as I said, execution is very important, right? And you should know how to execute. So in this condition, if, for example, your school is not giving you permission to distribute things to people, right? So don't go via school then. Simple as that. You have school till afternoon. I think most of you have school till afternoon, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You
Evening.
can all gather together. You have your friends helping you. You guys are doing it together. Your friends are doing it together. Gather on evenings, 1 hour, 2 hours, and do this work, right?
Yes,
Secondly,
ma'am.
if you mean in the terms of money, so there are many sessions, and I won't say sessions, but opportunities given by the government. So if you visit Startup India portal of Government of India, okay, you will be finding many competitions, okay, and many opportunities to raise funding or like to raise money, I'll say, because
Okay, ma'am.
these are grants given to students like you who want to build a company or who want to start a company but do not have enough resources. So not only in terms of money, but also in terms of mentorships, in terms of networking, okay, in terms of workshops, you will be getting many such resources on Startup India, and it is absolutely free. So you don't have to do anything. So even inside FPV, when we started in July 2020, when we also didn't have resources, enough amount of resources, like in terms of mentorship and in terms of money, we also applied on Startup India portal and we got 10 lakhs of government grant at no fees. Okay. So I think you must all be knowing what is a loan, where you have to pay back the money which you are getting. So it is not a loan. It is basically a grant. It is basically the government is giving that money to you for your initiative. Yes, of course, you have to fill a form where you have to specify what you are doing, and how you will be doing, right? And then you
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
selected and you'll be given this. So it is not only 10 lakhs. You can get it 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, depending on what is your requirement. I hope, Ishita, that question is cleared of yours.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I understood it now. Thank you so much.
Okay. Anyone
One
else?
question.
Ma'am,
Anyone
Yes.
else?
yes, ma'am. I have, I have a query, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Your voice is not
I'm afraid
audible.
I'm not able to identify who is speaking.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, Akshat.
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
Akshat speaking?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a
Yes.
query that, like, ma'am, I have an idea. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have an idea that I will make a mobile stand that I've executed one model of this, ma'am. Ma'am, if I want to make a large scale company to
I'm
operate,
afraid, Akshat, is it for me or is it the voice is breaking and I'm not able to hear what you are speaking? So you can
It's
do
both.
one thing is you can type it in the chat box, and I'll reply to it.
okay, ma'am.
Anyone else?
Ma'am, can I ask?
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, I am Solis Datta. Ma'am, I have a question, uh, just out of curiosity. So ma'am, why did you decided to go to an investor while you can bootstrap?
Okay. So many companies have bootstrapped itself and they have grown into large organizations. If you have heard Zerodha, so Zerodha is a platform where you can like do online trading of stocks. Okay. So that is basically a software-based company. Now for software-based company, there is an initial requirement of funds to create or to buy that software or to create that software. Okay. But for my company, which is a drone based company, which I also said, it is basically a hardware based company. So to design that hardware, right? To, like we have frames in a drone, that is the body of the drone. To design that body, we can do it by ourselves, right? That can be bootstrapped. But to manufacture that in India, right? To set up manufacturing units, to buy machines, you need a huge amount of investment. That is in crores, 15 to 20 crores, right? And to scale that business. Now, I just started with manufacturing of drone frame. Now you go to manufacturing of electronics, right? You have motors, you have the wings that is called the propeller. Now there are different types of machineries which needs to be set up in order to manufacture that in India. So you cannot invest 15 crores of your own money in a bootstrap, like in a company of yours, because you don't have that money.
Yes,
Because
ma'am, I
I
get.
started with I have two of my co-founders, so we are three co-founders and we don't have so much of money to invest. We come from a middle class family, and to make drones in India, we have to raise investment. So I hope, Saurash, that question of
Yes,
yours
ma'am.
is clear.
Ma'am, I have another. Like, if you took in money from the investor, you were conditioned to follow some of their orders or like suggestions. So, aren't you like afraid of they are ordering you and you are losing the freedom to take
No,
decisions?
no. So it doesn't work that way. Before getting the investment, you have to make a 15-20 page document where everything is written, how much power that particular investor has. So you already know, and the investor already knows the terms and conditions, and a company will never agree to such terms and conditions. So that's why that is not a problem for a startup.
Okay, ma'am, got it.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Who is this speaking?
Hello, Fazur from this side. Hello.
Yes, Fazil.
Ma'am, my question is that, ma'am, I want to be a doctor and as well as an entrepreneur. Then how I will become a entrepreneur while living a doctor?
Okay. So even I am an engineer and I'm an entrepreneur. So if you mean that you are practicing doctor in hospitals and then you want to have a side business, that is not recommended, and it is practically not human, like it is not humanly possible, because doctors, they have a busy schedule. They have to be available 24 into 7. And to grow a business, to start a business, and to make it a brand, you need to give all your 24 into 7 time, as I said, efforts, right? So that is not humanly possible. But if you mean you have completed your studies of doctor, of medical, and then you want to have a startup, build a startup in that field, yes, that is possible. Everyone does that. Even I am an engineer and I am an entrepreneur.
Ma'am, but I want to be an entrepreneur in the field of medical.
So of course you can do that. You have to complete your studies, or at least you have to have that knowledge of in which field you want to have a business, right? Now, if you want to be the technical officer, then you must like have the in-depth knowledge of what is the technology being used in the product. But if you want to be in the management field, then not necessary you have to complete your medical. Is it clear?
Ma'am,
Now,
I have a question.
I am the COO of Inside FPV, that is Chief Operating Officer. That comes into the management field. So I need not have the how I'll say the in-depth knowledge or the technicalities of how my drone is being manufactured. Like there is a difference between CTO and COO, that is Chief Technical Officer. Now, the technical officer is creating that technology, and the CEO, that is the Chief Executive Officer, and COO will have like what are the features, what is the technology, how we have to manufacture it, right? How we have to scale it, how we have to make our product reach to the customers, how we have to generate sales, how the product should be reaching safely to the customers, who will be engaged in building the product, in building the technology. That is our role. But the role of a technical officer is to create that technology. Okay, so if Fazul, if you want to create the technology in the medical field, then of course you need to have the qualification and the in-depth knowledge to create that technology. But if you want to do the other things of your business, then not necessary to complete your academics in medical.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, is investment more profitable or entrepreneurship in long term?
Um, okay. So how have you compared investment and entrepreneurship? Because I'm afraid these two are very different terms.
I'm like investing in stocks from early age or opening a startup at early age will be profitable in long term.
So that means you are money minded, right? Because you are speaking in terms of money. So
Kind of.
to gain money to run your startup, you invest in stocks, but again you will be doing day-to-day trading and not investing in long-term stocks, right? So
Yes.
if you're doing day-to-day trading, you can of course do that to earn money to build your startup, right? Now,
Yeah.
if you build a startup, that will give you an identity of your own and to the brand, which cannot be compared to the online trading which you're doing. So you
Yes.
cannot compare these two things. And in terms of money, if you're speaking, both can fail, right? So it is up to you how proficient you are in doing the things. Because a person can generate losses in day-to-day trading or can generate profit. So it is again up to you. It's same for building a startup. As I said, 9 out of 10 startup fails. If your one is the eighth one, then you will be saying, you said that in entrepreneurship is good, building a startup is good. But what if your startup is the 10th one and you have a IPO like Nykaa, right? So you cannot
Okay.
compare both the things.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Ma'am,
think
Right now,
Kushi will be having last question.
Ma'am, may I?
exactly,
ma'am,
exactly. We'll have a last
Ma'am,
question from Akshat on chat box. We have put it in on chat box. I'll read it for you. Ma'am,
Yeah,
I
sure.
have an idea of mobile holding stand. I have even made a model of it, but I don't know how to convert it into a large scale company. How do I start? I have nothing, no team and no money. Then how? A question from Akshat
Okay.
Anand.
Okay, Akshat. So first thing, your mobile holding stand should be unique and it should be solving a problem, right? So if it is like something which is not there in the market, then you're good to go. And for that, you can start with 3D printing of your model and testing it. So there are many 3D, like cheap 3D printing um, things there, right? So you can like use many 3D printing techniques where like I think your model will cost something around 500 to 600 rupees, and you can test that model because only design. I come particularly from mechanical background, so I know how many things are needed. Only designing a model is not sufficient. You have to even do the simulation, you have to even do the testing of that model. Is it durable? Is it strong? Right. So doing the testing and after that doing the 3D printing, do like make some two, three mounts of the mobile holding stand, distribute it among your friends, ask the feedbacks, right? Take the positive feedbacks, like take the feedbacks positively because you'll be getting positive plus negative feedbacks. Do
Yes,
the
ma'am.
changes in your model, right? And then there are many manufacturers in India who can like do the bulk manufacturing of this model which you have, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And for this, you need a team. So for that, you can approach to your friends. You can start with that. You can, but because when you initially build a startup, as I said, either you have to do it individually or like you have a team of two, three people. So here, if you are individually, you have to put in extra efforts in that, right? And because once your prototype is very much accepted by your friends, people will like to join you. So that's how it works, right? Once you make a base of your startup, people start attracting towards your startup. Your startup is a magnet and people start attracting to it. So that's how you can build your startup in this, right?
Okay,
And
ma'am.
the money about it, it requires a very initial investment of like 1,000 to 2,000 rupees. So I think you can, okay?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I think all the points are cleared.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And you guys have learned something from this, and I hope to see many entrepreneurs emerging from you all and building multi-billion dollar startups.
All
Ma'am,
right.
I
Let's
have a
Thank you.
question.
hope to
Thank
see
you
you
so
all.
much, ma'am, for your
Thank you,
informative
ma'am.
and engaging presentation. Your insights were really valuable. Like personally from my side, that I got hit from the session was to be the best in your field, you have to sacrifice the thing, right? So this was
Yes.
a great point. And even I want to thank all of you for attending and your active participation during the session. Your questions and comments were added to the discussion. At the last, we hope this session was sparked and added to your interest. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And we can end the
Thank you
session.
everyone for coming. Have a
Thank you
good
so
day,
much,
have a
ma'am.
good time,
Thank you,
and
ma'am, for
start
having me here.
building
Thank you, ma'am, for
startups.
having me here.
Bye bye.
Bye
Thank you
bye,
so
Ma'am,
much,
guys.
bye bye.
ma'am.
Everyone, take care.
Thank you for having me here,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank
Bye
you, ma'am,
bye.
for the session, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, Chit.